back. It is just about 10:35, and we are talking about fiber fabric and craft festival. Yeah. Time to get crafty, y'all. Okay, so let's talk about the festival, bringing all things DIY to Rosemont. Here to tell us more about it, before it kicks off on Friday, is Jane Klaus, the trend expert and media spokesperson, and Jessica Boweak. Did I say that correctly?
You did.
Boweak.
Perfect.
Fiber, Fabric, and Craft Festival Show Director. Thanks, ladies, for coming in this morning.
Yeah. It is so great to be here. I'm so excited to talk about the Fiber, Fabric, and Craft Festival.
Yes.
Before we dive in, can we talk about your outfit? Because what you just told us is quite amazing.
Cool.
Well, so because we're talking about all things fiber and fabric, one of the trends that we'll talk about is upcycling. And my trousers are actually a pair of Burberry men's pants from a suit from 1990s, and I've totally repurposed them, upcycled them, and then I added some embroidery to it. And we'll get to that when we talk about trends, because you can just upcycle and you could add embellishments to things, and then all of a sudden you've got something new. You remember, you don't have to buy new to wear new.
You don't have to. I love the concept of upcycling. We're doing a close-up shot on that embroidery. It's beautiful. Is that a like a pattern that you can buy at a craft store and just kind of stitch on there, or did you spend hours and hours doing that?
That is an amazing question, because on the embroidery machines of today, they come preloaded with different embroidery designs, and this is one of the designs on the embroidery machine. So when I had the pants like deconstructed, I put the fabric on there and I was able to put it in. It looks so professional. Guess what? I did it.
So cool.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
I'm proud of you. That's impressive.
Okay, so let's talk about this show, how it began in the first place, and why we're bringing it to Rosemont this year.
Great question. So about 5 years ago, just to go back a little bit, we started a wholesale show called H&H Americas. And a lot of our wholesale exhibitors had came to us and said, why don't you guys start a show for consumers? And so we were like, we do, our company does trade shows, and we are Cologne Mesa, and we're from Cologne, and we do about 50 shows in Cologne. And so we started doing a lot of research, and in that time we realized that Chicago regional area didn't have anything like that. And so here we are today, and we're doing our inaugural event called Fiber, Fabric, and Craft Festival. And so we're super excited, and we have over 260 vendors.
Wow, 260.
All right, so
all ready for our first show.
Yeah.
Like, all I know is Michael's, for example, in terms of crafts. Okay, so 260 vendors. What kind of variety are we talking about here?
Oh, we have knitting, crocheting, sewing, quilting, embroidery, weaving, upcycling. We have, but you can come and see Dancing with Stars. Costumes. You get, there's education. There's over 200 classes. Whether you're a beginner,
as well.
Intermediate, you're an expert.
Wow, okay.
I always say, if you are a seasoned expert, you can come and find something new that you're going to fall in love with and try. Or if you're a curious beginner, this is a place to go to just get inspired. I always say, with a little inspiration and some imagination, you can make it yourself. So if you've never done it, you go there, you find something that you may want. I didn't want to.
So where's the line between, like, we talk a lot about home improvement and stuff, but like sometimes, like, I just ordered this wonderful stained glass for a project we're doing off of Etsy, and found like an independent stained glass artist. I believe she was in Iowa, and that was awesome, because like I got to collab with her on what I wanted. And there's things like my nieces, they do like beading, the necklaces, the bead, like that kind of thing. Is this all on the table, like a craft like stained glass, for example?
So when you're at the craft festival, it's all on the table. You can find items that are already finished that you could buy, and then you can find kits as well. So if you're interested, let's say, for example, in making this little guy right here. So somebody would sell you a kit there. Here's the kit. So you get the fabric, the instructions, and then you come away with this, and it gives you the instructions on how to do it. So you can buy the kits, you can buy the finished product, but it's all there for the inspiration. You talked about the embellishments here. Punch needling. Have you heard of that? It's got 1 billion views on TikTok. That will be there as well. Weaving, when you sit down at the loom and you're weaving, and you can learn how to do that. Like Jessica said, there's 200 classes where you can sit and learn. And then you said you had to collect collab with your Etsy maker.
Yeah.
Here, look, think of this as like small batch connection.
Okay.
So some of the makers are going to be sitting there that you can talk to them and say, well, how did you come up with that? Or how did you make that? And then you can get a little bit of insight and maybe make it yourself.
Okay, so
Super
I
fun.
know that we've talked about this many times on the show about how younger folks are leaning away from technology and more into doing things with their hands.
Analog. Remember the analog
with their hands.
bag?
They're sewing the push needling to your point. All the views on TikTok. Is there age specific like spots in this show? Like, is there an area for folks who maybe are a little bit older, maybe the younger folks, maybe the kiddos, or is it all kind of blended together?
It's for everybody, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there are kid-friendly crafts,
yes.
and there are even kid classes in a kid-friendly area. So it's really the festival is really for everybody, right? You want to bring mom, dad. I don't know that you can bring Pancake the dog, but let's everybody. Maybe you're making a collar for Pancake, but it is something for everybody. And I feel like there's craft for all levels, right? You'll never age out of crafting, which is what I love about it. I started crafting when I was 5.
Yeah.
And I will continue crafting, and I preach crafting. And I want everyone just give me 1 hour of creativity a week.
So therapeutic.
And you're and you're off the screen. You're taking a screen break, which is I think that the part of being a little bit more tactile and with your hands and with your minds, and you're working on something handmade. It really is a great sense of satisfaction.
Very meditative too.
Yeah,
and you're zoned in. I love doing it. Like, you know, even if it's just like a little craft. We've done little model kits with my young ones and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
What's the venue then?
It's at Rosemont. It's Donald E. Stevenson Convention
Oh, in the
Center.
Stevens Convention Center. That's a big space then.
It is.
And where, you mentioned there's like over 250 vendors. Where are they all coming in from? Are they mostly local, Midwest?
No, we're all over all 50 states, and we have some from 8 countries.
Wow. Okay, so how did you guys get connected with all these folks? That's a big undertaking.
That's a great question. So we, with H&H Americas, we have, with that particular show, we have over 27 countries with H&H Americas, and we have over 600 vendors. So a lot of them we have connections, and they're like, hey, well, we're coming in next week. So a lot of them were very interested in, you know, partaking in this show. So that's kind of how we.
And the cool part about it, so Linda Z's Sewing Center is in Arlington Heights. They will be there. They're doing giveaways. So if you show up as a consumer, so it's exciting for me because I get to buy the stuff that I can't find in the big box stores, that I can't find online. Like, I get to talk to the people, buy the stuff. But they're giving away machines. They're giving away giveaways all week long. Yeah. Cool. And then the fabric company out of Morris, Illinois. This bag is actually a kit.
Wow.
That if you buy, yes, it's a kit. So you buy the fabric and they'll give you a class at their store to learn how to make it. So it's all about inspiring everybody to try something new and try making. And again, if you're in it, you want to be there because there's a lot of things that you could get your hands on. But if you're new, I think that it's really a great opportunity for you to experience this creativity that we're talking about.
That's great. To Caitlin's point about, you know, the breakdown of who is doing crafting and these kinds of projects these days between older folks and young. We've been talking a lot about like parenting in 2026, AI, screen time, all this stuff, getting addicted to the screens. What is the status of crafting right now? Like, are people, you know, we talk about like dying arts and things like that. Like, everything's going to be made by AI or like a 3D printer and that kind of thing. But is there still a lot of demand for this, or is it kind of TBD? See how many people show up with this thing? And
I mean, the demand is bigger and greater than ever, and it is because people are, you know, especially the younger generation, grew up on phones. So they're like, wow, I can actually do this myself. And so we talk about quilting. It's not your grandma's quilt anymore. So the younger generation, they're running the quilt guilds. They're using different types of substrates, like different materials, to create the quilt. So we have an old quilt at home and it's all cotton. They're using flannel now. They're using soft flowy materials. So they're being innovative in what they learn online, and they're putting it into hands-on. So I think that it's knitting and crocheting was popular. It's even bigger than ever. And I'll say needlepoint.
Yeah.
It's very cheeky nowadays. So needlepoint was like, oh, the old needlepoint, but now it's cheeky. You put it in a frame, you sell it on Etsy, you put it on your wall. So there are ways of making it shift to the younger crowd and what they're interested in, but also increase the enthusiasm for it. So I think that crafting in general is on the upswing because that we need the break.
Yeah, exactly. Break from the screens. One question, sorry, Caitlin, but like, does it make it easier and better that the materials are so, I mean, you can click on a button on Amazon and get stuff rather than having to go to like a craft store, for example, or a hobby store and piece it, you can like just have it delivered. I'm sure that like helps the barrier to entry to start a new hobby like this.
I mean, listen, I order every day. I'm like, oh, I would like some whatever, because I'm finishing up a dress. You know, that's fine. And I order it quickly online, and I get it within, you know, the next day. But what I love about, and that's a great entry. Here, you can touch it, you can feel it, you can play with it, and then you're like, okay, now I'm going to go order it here. Or now I know this company exists, and this is what I can do with it. And I think that's like what's so exciting for me that we have this here in the Chicagoland area is that everybody can come and everybody can be exposed to it. And so that's why it's great that there is a consumer show this year.
I remember being a kid and going to like the craft shows at my high school and smelling the soaps and getting the lotions, and there was even like at bigger venues like food, like wines and little snackies. Are you guys having those things, or is this just strictly like hands-on crafts?
Hands-on crafts.
It's hands-on crafts, yeah.
But there might be a bar in the lobby.
Yeah, there's a bar, and there's food. There's a concession, and there's food there.
But I would tell you one thing, there is a kit similar to this that if you buy the kit to make the backpack, it comes with wine glasses, it comes with plates, everything ready to go to Ravinia for the summer.
Ravinia.
There you go.
Are there any, you mentioned needlepoint being kind of on trend. Are there any other like craft trends that we should all be aware of that are popping online or anything like that?
I think upcycling, well, I talked about the punch needle, but the upcycling, sustainability aspect to it all. So we talked about quilts. You're finding the old quilts, and what's happening is people are upcycling those into quilted jackets. So it's like the quilted runway these days. And then the upcycling area, with the resurgence of sewing, people are really jumping on the slow fashion bandwagon. And what does that mean? That means handmade, it means curated, it means mindful making. It's not cheaply made. You spent your time, you're taking something old and making it new again. So I feel like sewing is really having a comeback. People say, well, I can't do it. But you can. I say it's a couple of straight stitches, a little math, and oops, you got yourself a pair of pants or a jacket.
So cool.
That's beautiful. So okay, ladies, where should people go for more information if they want to scope out their day?
At Fiber Fabric Fest. Festival.com.
And when does it run? From when to when? Kicks off Friday. Does it go to Sunday?
Yeah. So tomorrow, actually, our classes start on April 30th, and the marketplace opens May 1st through the 3rd. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Amazing. And it's all happening in Rosemont at the Donald Stevens Convention Center, correct?
Beautiful.
You guys should check it out.
Come on out.
So cool.
Super fun. My
I'm
kids
so
would love it. My kids would love it. Very good. Thank you so much for being here, Jessica Boweak and Jane Klaus. Really appreciate your time.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the White Sox and how they are rolling out the red carpet for the ladies. Okay, that story is coming up.